Let me tell y'all something. Everybody wants success, but nobody wants to wait for it. You want the dream job, the perfect relationship, the $1 million house, but you want it right now. We live in a world where you can order food, stream movies, and get packages delivered the same day. So now we think success should work the same way. Success takes time. That's a fact. But the problem is most people don't want to hear it. We live in a world that's all about speed, fast food, fast internet, fast results. Everything is on demand. You want a song, stream it. You want groceries, order them. You want success? Well, that's where people get stuck because success doesn't come with a shortcut. It doesn't have an express delivery option. No, real success, the kind that lasts, takes time. People love looking at the highlight reel of someone else's life. They see the money, the fame, the lifestyle, and they think, man, I want that. But what they don't see is the years of work that came before the success. Nobody posts the struggle. Nobody shows the late nights, the early mornings, the failures, the setbacks, the doubt, the frustration. They just show you the finished product. And that's why so many people get discouraged. They think, why isn't it happening for me yet? See, the reason most people give up is because they expect success to happen on their timeline. They want the results right now. But life doesn't work like that. You can't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You can't go to the gym for a week and expect to look like a bodybuilder. Everything worth having requires time, effort, and patience. Look at anybody who's made it. Athletes, business owners, entertainers, professionals. Every single one of them had to put in the time. You don't just wake up one day and become great. You become great by showing up day after day, even when it feels like nothing is happening. You build your skills, you improve little by little, you push through the failures. And one day, all that effort pays off. But if you quit too soon, if you rush the process, you never get to see what was waiting for you on the other side. Think about the most successful people in the world. Every single one of them has a story of struggle, sacrifice, and patience. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job and told she wasn't fit for TV. Now look at her. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Now his name is legendary. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Imagine that. Disney, the man behind some of the most creative work in history, was told he didn't have what it takes. What if these people had given up? What if they had decided success was taking too long? Most people never reach their full potential because they don't give it enough time. They quit right before the breakthrough. They get frustrated when things aren't happening fast enough, and they walk away. But here's the thing, just because you don't see the results yet doesn't mean it's not working. Success is like a seed underground. It's growing even when you can't see it. It's developing roots, gaining strength, preparing to rise. The people who succeed are the ones who stay patient and keep watering that seed even when it looks like nothing is happening. The truth is, if success came easy, everybody would have it. But the fact that it takes time is what makes it valuable. The struggle, the waiting, the lessons you learn along the way, that's what shapes you into the person who can handle success when it comes. If you got everything you wanted, the moment you wanted it, you wouldn't appreciate it. You wouldn't be ready for it. See, success isn't just about reaching the goal. It's about who you become on the journey. The hard work, the discipline, the perseverance. That's what prepares you for the life you're trying to build. That's what gives you the wisdom and strength to keep going even when things get tough. There will be times when you feel like nothing is happening, times when you question if all the effort is even worth it. That's normal, but what separates the successful from the unsuccessful is who keeps going when nothing seems to be working. Success isn't about luck. It's about persistence. It's about trusting the process, even when the results aren't immediate. The problem is most people don't have the patience to wait for the roots to grow. They want to see the results instantly. They want to wake up one day and have everything they dreamed of, but they don't want to go through the process of building the foundation. And that's exactly why so many people quit too soon. They stop watering their dreams. They stop believing. They stop putting in the effort, all because they think their hard work isn't paying off. But what they don't realize is that growth is always happening, even when you can't see it. Look at a bamboo tree. When you plant it for the first 5 years, nothing seems to happen. 5 years. No sign of progress. No visible growth. If you were just looking at the surface, you'd think it was a complete failure. But what's happening underground? That tree is growing the strongest root system possible. It's getting ready. And then, boom, in just a few weeks, it shoots up nearly 90 feet. That's how life works. The things you're working on, the effort you're putting in, it's all creating something beneath the surface. The problem is most people won't wait 5 years. Most people won't wait 5 months. Some won't even wait 5 weeks before they give up. The world we live in makes it even harder to trust a process. Social media has made it seem like success happens overnight. You see people showing off their achievements, their money, their accomplishments, and it makes you feel like you're behind. But what you don't see is the years of work that came before that post. You don't see the failures, the sacrifices, the discipline it took to get there. You just see the finished product. And because of that, you start thinking something must be wrong with you. You start thinking, why isn't it happening for me? But the truth is it is happening. You just can't see it yet. Imagine a person working out. They hit the gym every day. They eat right. They put in the effort. But after a few weeks, they look in the mirror and don't see a huge difference. That's when most people quit. But if they had kept going, if they had trusted the process, they would have realized their body was changing. Muscles were forming, fat was burning, endurance was building. But because it wasn't visible fast enough, they assumed nothing was happening. Growth happens first on the inside. And if you don't understand that, you'll always walk away too soon. Success isn't about who moves the fastest. It's about who can hold on the longest. The people who make it are the ones who keep working even when they feel like nothing is happening. They keep pushing even when there's no applause, no reward, no recognition. They understand that every single effort, every single step is doing something, even if they can't see the results yet. Think about an ice cube sitting in a room. If the temperature is at 25 degrees, that ice isn't melting. If you raise it to 26 degrees, still nothing. 27, 28, 29, it looks like no change is happening. But once you get to 32 degrees, everything starts shifting. The ice melts, not because of that final degree, but because of all the heat that built up before it. Life works the same way. Every action you take, every ounce of effort you put in is raising your temperature. You might not see the melting yet, but that doesn't mean the heat isn't building. Most people quit at 29 degrees. They think, man, I've been putting in the work, I've been showing up, but nothing is changing. So they walk away. They stop pushing. But they don't realize they were just 3 degrees away from their breakthrough. They don't realize the work they were doing was preparing them for the moment when everything was about to shift. Pressure is part of the process. A lot of people want success, but they don't want the weight that comes with it. They want the rewards, but they don't want the challenges, the setbacks, the struggles. What they don't realize is that pressure is what makes success possible. Without pressure, there is no strength. Without struggle, there is no growth. Without resistance, there is no progress. Everything valuable in life is shaped by pressure. Think about a diamond. It starts as a lump of coal, something ordinary, something that looks like it has no value. But when it's put under extreme pressure and heat, something incredible happens. That coal transforms. It becomes one of the most precious, sought-after stones in the world. The pressure is what turns it into a diamond. If you remove the pressure, you remove the transformation. The same thing applies to people. The struggles you face, the hardships you go through, the obstacles that seem impossible, those are the things shaping you into the person who can handle success. The truth is, the longer you wait, the harder it gets. The more you delay, the more comfortable you get in your excuses. You convince yourself that now isn't the time, that later will be better, that one day you'll get around to it. But one day is a dangerous lie. One day keeps you stuck. One day is how dreams die. If there's something you want to do, start today. Start with whatever you have. If you want to start a business, start researching. If you want to get in shape, go for a walk. If you want to learn a new skill, pick up a book. Stop waiting for some magical moment to appear. The moment is now. Most people never start because they think they need to be perfect, but perfection is an illusion. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. Willing to try, willing to fail, willing to learn, willing to keep going. Because progress is better than perfection. Taking messy action is better than taking no action at all. The most important thing you can do is start. Take that first step, even if it's small, even if it's uncertain. Just take it, because once you start moving, momentum kicks in. Once you take that first step, the second step gets easier, then the third, then the fourth. And before you know it, you've built something. Before you know it, you're in motion. And motion is what leads to success. Belief is everything. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Too many people go through life doubting their own potential, talking themselves out of opportunities before they even try. They tell themselves they're not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough. But the truth is, the only thing stopping you is you. It's not your circumstances, it's not your background, it's not where you came from. It's your mind. If you don't believe you can do something, you won't even try. And if you don't try, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. The mind is powerful. Whatever you tell yourself every day, that's what you become. If you constantly tell yourself you can't, you'll never take action. But if you tell yourself you can, if you tell yourself you're capable, if you tell yourself you're built for this, you'll start acting like it. You'll start walking in confidence. You'll start seeing opportunities instead of limitations. The way you speak to yourself matters. The words you use shape your reality. If you keep saying, I'm not good enough, you'll find proof to support that. But if you say, I can figure this out, I'm getting better, I have what it takes, your mind will start working to make those words true. People who succeed in life aren't necessarily the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. They are the ones who refuse to doubt themselves. They are the ones who push forward even when they don't have all the answers. They are the ones who trust themselves enough to take risks. It's not about having all the resources. It's about having the mindset that you'll figure it out. If you believe in yourself, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. A lot of people struggle with self-doubt because they've been told their whole lives that they aren't good enough. Maybe someone told you that you weren't smart enough to chase your dreams. Maybe you failed once and now you think failure defines you. Maybe you compare yourself to other people and convince yourself that you don't measure up. But none of that matters. Your past does not define your future. Your mistakes do not determine your worth. What matters is what you choose to believe right now. You can either believe in the limitations others put on you, or you can believe in your own ability to rise above them. Belief isn't about ignoring your challenges. It's about knowing you have what it takes to overcome them. It's about understanding that every successful person started somewhere. They weren't born with all the answers. They weren't handed success. They had to work for it. They had to fight through doubt, through obstacles, through failures. But the one thing they never did was give up on themselves. They kept believing, and that belief pushed them forward when nothing else did. You have to be your biggest supporter. You can't wait for other people to believe in you. You can't depend on validation from others to feel worthy. Because the truth is, not everyone is going to see your vision. Not everyone is going to support your dreams. Some people won't believe in you because they don't believe in themselves. Some people will try to bring you down because they're afraid of what you might become. That's why you have to believe in yourself first. You have to be the one who sees the vision even when nobody else does. You have to be the one who keeps going even when others don't understand. Self-belief is a skill, and like any skill, it has to be developed. You have to train your mind to reject doubt. You have to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. When that voice in your head says, you can't do this, you have to answer back, yes, I can. When fear tells you to quit, you have to remind yourself why you started. You have to surround yourself with people who lift you up, who push you forward, who encourage you to keep going. Because the environment you put yourself in affects how you see yourself. If you're around negativity, if you're around people who don't believe in themselves, it's easy to fall into that mindset. But if you're around people who are striving, who are pushing, who are growing, that energy rubs off on you. Your belief in yourself determines how far you'll go. If you believe you can only go so far, that's exactly how far you'll go. But if you believe there are no limits, if you believe you are capable of more, You'll keep pushing, you'll keep striving, you'll keep growing. The mind is a powerful thing. It can either be your greatest asset or your biggest obstacle. The choice is yours. Fear is one of the biggest things that holds people back from achieving their true potential. It stops them before they even start. It makes them second-guess themselves, keeps them stuck in the same place, and convinces them that stepping out of their comfort zone is too risky. But the truth is, fear is not real in the way people think it is. It's a mental barrier, a thought, an illusion that grows stronger the more you listen to it. It's not something that should stop you, it's something that should push you forward. Because the things you fear the most are usually the things that will help you grow the most. Fear is always going to be there. You can't outrun it, you can't avoid it, and you definitely can't wait for it to disappear. The only way to get past fear is to move through it. You have to stop waiting to feel brave before you take action. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite the fear. Every successful person has felt fear. Every person who has accomplished something great has had moments of doubt. But the difference between them and the people who stay stuck is that they didn't let fear stop them. They felt it, but they took action anyway. Most of the time, fear is just a story you tell yourself. You imagine the worst-case scenario. You convince yourself that if you try, you'll fail. That if you step out, people will judge you. That if you take a risk, you'll lose everything. But the reality is, most of the things you fear never actually happen. Fear magnifies things, makes them seem bigger than they are. And if you don't challenge those fearful thoughts, they will control you. They will paralyze you. They will keep you from stepping into the life you were meant to live. People let fear dictate their choices, and that's why they never reach their full potential. They let the fear of failure stop them from even trying. They let the fear of rejection stop them from putting themselves out there. They let the fear of the unknown keep them trapped in situations they know aren't right for them. But playing it safe is not the way to success. Staying comfortable will never get you to the next level. You have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to face fear head on and move forward in spite of it. The truth is, failure is not the end of the world. Rejection is not the end of the world. Messing up, making mistakes, stumbling along the way, none of that is as bad as your mind makes it seem. Because every time you fail, you learn. Every time you get knocked down, you gain experience. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. And the people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail and keep going. They use failure as a stepping stone, not a roadblock. People spend so much time worrying about when things will happen that they don't focus enough on being ready when it does. They get so caught up in chasing the outcome that they don't realize the preparation is just as important as the destination. What you do while you're waiting matters. How you handle the time before the breakthrough matters. The skills you build, the habits you form, the lessons you learn, that's what determines whether or not you can handle what's coming. Look at nature. Seasons change when they're supposed to. You can't force summer to come in the middle of winter. You can't rush spring before it's time. But when the season does come, everything falls into place effortlessly. The same thing happens in life. The right things will happen at the right time, and no amount of worrying, stressing, or forcing it will make it happen any faster. The problem is that most people don't trust the timing. They think if something hasn't happened yet, it means it's never going to happen. They let impatience convince them to settle for less, to take shortcuts, to rush into things they're not ready for. But settling for something too soon can be worse than not having it at all. If you're not ready for it, you won't be able to hold on to it. That's why trusting the timing is so important. Opportunities have a way of showing up when you least expect them. Sometimes the delay you're experiencing is actually a blessing in disguise. Sometimes the thing you thought you wanted wasn't actually the best thing for you. Sometimes something even better is coming, but you have to be patient enough to wait for it. The waiting period isn't wasted time, it's preparation time. There's a reason things don't happen right away. There's a reason certain doors don't open until later. It's not because you're not good enough, not because you're unlucky, not because you're falling behind. It's because timing is everything. The right thing at the wrong time becomes the wrong thing. But the right thing at the right time, that's when everything falls into place. Consistency is the key. Everybody wants success, but very few people are willing to show up every single day and put in the work, especially when they don't see immediate results. They want to do something once, twice, maybe for a few weeks, and then expect a massive breakthrough. But that's not how it works. Success doesn't reward the people who work hard for a little while. It rewards the people who stay committed for the long haul. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They think they have to make some huge dramatic change all at once to see results. But real progress doesn't come from big moments. It comes from the little things you do day in and day out. It's not about how hard you go for one day. It's about how consistent you are over time. Think about water dripping on a rock. One drop doesn't do anything, 10 drops don't make a difference. But over time, those tiny drops carve through solid stone. That's what consistency does. It seems small in the moment, but over time, it creates massive results. The problem is, most people give up before they see the impact of their effort. They stop too soon. They put in the work for a little while, but when they don't see instant success, they assume it's not working. What they don't realize is that every little action is adding up. It's easy to be motivated for a few days. Anybody can be excited at the beginning of a journey. The real challenge is staying disciplined when the excitement wears off. It's about doing the work when nobody's watching, when nobody's cheering for you, when you don't feel like it. That's what separates the successful from everyone else. Look at athletes. They don't become champions by training only when they feel motivated. They don't show up only when it's convenient. They train every single day, even when they're tired, even when they don't feel like it, even when they don't see immediate results. They understand that consistency beats intensity. Showing up every day, even at 70%, is more powerful than going all out once in a while. Think about someone trying to get in shape. If they work out for 5 hours one day and then do nothing for the rest of the month, will they see results? No. But if they work out for 30 minutes every day, even if it doesn't feel like much, over time they'll see massive change. The same principle applies to anything in life. Small daily actions add up to big transformation. People look at successful individuals and think they got lucky or had some big moment that changed everything. What they don't see is the years of consistency that led up to it. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the effort when nobody was paying attention. They didn't just wake up one day and find success. It was built brick by brick, step by step. The hardest part about consistency is that you don't always see immediate rewards. That's why so many people quit too soon. They expect instant results, and when they don't get them, they assume it's not working. But consistency is like compounding interest. At first, it seems like nothing is happening, but over time, the effort you've been putting in multiplies. Suddenly, what seemed impossible starts to feel inevitable. Think about a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small. It doesn't seem like much. But as it keeps rolling, it builds momentum. It gets bigger and bigger, faster and faster. That's exactly what happens when you stay consistent. At first, it feels slow, it feels frustrating, but if you keep going, eventually momentum kicks in, and suddenly things start falling into place. The key to success isn't about being perfect. It's not about getting it right every time. It's about being consistent enough